my name is Scylla, and today I need to start out with a disclaimer. I am in no way trying to bash or hate on any of the things that I'm about to mention. These are things that I have no problem with seeing on other people. They are simply things that I myself have come to realize that they don't really fit my style or what I'm looking for. We've all got personal preferences, and that's okay. These are just some things that I've had to cross off my own list for going out and buying stuff. With that said, I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get right in. Number one would be full shirring. I'm talking about like the full shirring one-piece dresses that look oh so comfy. But more than that, they fit like a number of sizes, so I don't understand why we don't have more of those. I do love them, but they are on this list for a reason. Now, because it stretches like all around, it's supposed to be more comfortable, I think. But for some reason, I find on myself, maybe because I'm like ultra sensitive or something, I don't like the way that it feels. Any kind of shirring, like in the front, because I can handle it in the back. I love it in the back, but in the front, it doesn't really work. But more than that, it also always looks a little bit strange on me. Like if I'm wearing something that's fully shirred in the front, there's the gap. Like I'm talking like 2 lumps and then the gap, and I don't like it. And I've tried sports bras with them before, but it still doesn't really work that well. And then they usually have like thicker straps, so you can always like see through, because in general the full shirred dresses tend to be like wider here in the neck area as well. So I feel like this is strictly a me problem. Maybe I was just too used to all my normal dresses and just the boob loaf. But again, that being said, I always think they look normal on other people. Every time I see pictures, whatever the size that a person has going on, they always look good. It's just on me for whatever reason. When I look in the mirror, it's like something isn't right. But again, that being said, I really wish that they made more for every new dress release, or at least every other few dress release. I think that that should be considered like one of the cuts. But I don't know, I don't make the dresses. So next, number 2 would be under the knee socks. And this is another one of those things where I've seen other people wearing them, especially like in old school and stuff, and it looks really cute. But on me, something with like the way that my knees are, like little faces, like I don't like the weird 3-inch gap between sock, weird mushed skin, and then dress. I guess I just got bad knees, because I'm not really seeing this on most other people who often wear the under the knee socks. So the third thing I will not even likely, just plain out never ever wear is circle lenses. Do you remember when that was like the biggest thing ever, and literally everyone was wearing the big circle lenses, because you could turn your eye into any color. You could put pink, you could get stars in there. Just immediately made you more doll-like. Now, at the time that it was really in, I remember seeing it everywhere. And at this time, I was doing my own like handmade Lolita stuff, because I couldn't afford it yet. But I remember always feeling very left out, and like I would never reach the point of being a real Lolita or looking like a real Lolita, because I didn't have those big doll-like eyes. Because it was trending so hard that for a time it did feel like your cord wouldn't be complete without the eyes. So I'm very happy that that trend has since died down. And again, I don't think there's anything wrong with wearing the contacts. They definitely give a really nice, cute look. And they're really nice to look at. But I'm just really happy that it's not like this silent requirement. And I know it was never an actual requirement, but somehow because of how popular it was, it's just kind of what it seemed like. And I should mention, it's not because I don't want to wear them, it's because I can't wear them. So the 4th thing on this list is brand tights. And this actually makes me really sad. But talked about this before. Basically, tights made in like all of Asia are very small. Every pair I've ever received in this set, like one of the dresses that I've gotten, they've never fit. Like, I've gotten them on, but it's like taking a little normal sock and trying to fit like a gallon of milk in there. Which sucks, because originally I thought that tights would be, you know, they'd have a lot more give, because the material of tights is supposed to be massively stretchable. I don't know what kind of material they were using. I mean, I could Google it, but it's not very stretchy. Maybe that's changed over the years. Maybe it's a lot better now, but all I'm saying is that everything I've ever tried has never worked. So I've given up on the idea of ever owning any kind of tights. So next on my list would be, I likely will never ever end up wearing a very chunky, tall heel. That being said, I absolutely love the way that I love seeing cords with like really tall heels, big, chunky platforms. I think they're so beautiful. But for me, myself, I've come to realize after, you know, getting myself a few pair of like the tall shoes, I feel most comfortable when I am closer to the ground. My balance is a little bit off. I also have, I'm pigeon-toed in one foot, and that kind of super helps in throwing me off. I know that in a lot of pictures, Lolitas will often do the pigeon foot thingamabob, and it looks really cute, but in real life, it's not so cute. It is massively inconvenient and basically a cause for many an embarrassing moment. So. And it's not even a matter of like practicing to walk in them, because I can walk in heels. That's not the point. The point is my foot automatically right into the other. Like, unless I am constantly actively focusing on turning my foot one way, it's just not gonna work out. So yeah, definitely I'm gonna stick as low to the ground as possible. I do like a small heel though, like maybe 3 inches. And I also do like the full entire platform bases, but again, most of the time they make them like gigantic, like those Quizmo shoes or whatever. I want platforms that are small. So yeah, it's sad because I really love those kinds of big chunky shoes. Also, you know, there goes my dreams of ever owning Jeffrey Campbell shoes. So number 6 on my list is, I will likely never wear actual bloomers. I'm not gonna lie, I don't own a single pair of bloomers. And for a long time, this really bothered me. I felt like I was not complete as a Lolita because I didn't have like the undergarments to match. But now I don't care. I wear very thin pajama shorts, and you know, for California, it's perfect. No one here has ever lifted up my skirt, so I don't really see a need for me to wear bloomers. Would still like to own a few pairs, but likely will never get around to choosing to spend money on it over something else that I'd rather have. I do think that they're cute though. I love the look of like old school Lolitas when they have them peeking out from under the skirt because they're like so long. It's so adorable. I love them. So next on the list would be mini hats. I feel like mini hats have a really bad rap, primarily because they're kind of more of like a staple for Idas, because it's very easy to find them at like Hot Topic and Party City, and they're like really cute. So you put them with your, you know, the first dress that you get because you think that, oh, it'll go. But it just doesn't work, because, you know, Party City hats and the Hot Topic hats, they're not really meant to go with Lolita. They're meant for more costume-like outfits. They're also usually just a little bit too small. Now, the truth is actually that I do want to wear mini hats, but they don't exist. Like, not fully mini that, you know, it's just gonna disappear in the poof of the cord. I want like maybe this big or something. You can get hats that are like full sized, but what I'm looking for is just a size up from the mini. Like, do you remember when AP put out Jewelry Jelly, and the little mini hat that came with the dress was an actual, it was like a Jello hat, like maybe just slightly bigger than that. But yeah, anytime that I do see a mini hat for sale, like on Tap Out or something, it's always just too small. Make it a little bit bigger. It'll still be considered a mini hat because it's not the same size as like, you know, a full sized hat. Just like, you know, size mini and a half or something. I don't know. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. Next up is Salopettes. Salopettes? Salopette. So these are something that I've always really wanted to try. For a long while, I actually thought that I would eventually get around to like owning some of them, and then I could wear them on days when I didn't really feel like wearing Lolita, but I kind of wanted like an in-between. But the older I've gotten, the bigger my hips have gotten, and they were already, you know, pretty big to begin with, so I just don't see them working very well for my body type. And I'm not saying that you have to be, you know, a little stick figure in order to look good in these things. I am saying that for me to feel confident, I need something that either fully hides or flatters my body. And I feel like the Salopettes, they wouldn't do that. I feel like they would just accentuate all the stuff that I don't like about myself, you know, assuming that I could get it on my body. So on to number 9, that would be full bonnets. Now I'm talking about the bonnets that like cover the back of your head as well. And I know this because I have worn full-sized bonnets before, because I love bonnets. I love the way that they look. I think they are so cute. I love them in sweet. I love them in classic. I love them in gothic. Of course, I love them in old school. They're just so great. And I came to realize I don't like the way that they look on me. I don't really know how to wear them right. It's just I don't have that skill. So I did sell all the ones that I had, and pretty much from now on I am only getting like mini bonnets, like the half size, the ones that are already like made to stick in place, because a lot of like older brand bonnets, it's just kind of like there's like wire in there and stuff, but it's like mostly just cloth, so it is a little bit harder to try and adjust it and make it fitting. Again, that being said, I totally support full bonnets. Anyone who actually can pull off like the full bonnet, I just props to you. So number 10 is I will likely never wear plain colored tights apart from white and black, and maybe like navy or any other darker colors. And I think the plain tights are something that you often see with newer Lolitas, and I'm not hating on just the plain Jane, plain colored tights. That I'm not hating on them. The reason that this is on my list is because if something is white, it is white, and if something is black, it's black. If something is pink, well, it could be pure pink, it could be bubblegum pink, it could be a peachy pink, a rosy pink, a brownish pink. There are a lot of pinks out there. And if you get lucky enough to find just plain old normal tights of a shade that actually matches one of your dresses, that is great. But I have not been able to find any kind of shade at all that matches. Like every time I come across purple tights, it's always like too dark for anything that I own. Same with blues. It's always just, it's never pastel. Like even the light blues are just, they're too sharp for the subtleness of what I have in my closet already. And for the most part, I try not to be too picky about my colors, but if something is so heavy that it's standing out so much apart from like the other stuff, that's not good, because I like all my stuff to at least balance each other out. And there's like a whole section of leg happening that if you have just a full-on stark color, it is gonna clash. So if anyone happens to know where I can get like multiple shades, please let me know. Now I'm going to be a little more open right now. I'm very familiar with kink scenes and, you know, bondage gear and such, and I don't mind seeing them on cords, and like, you know what I'm talking about, like the collars and the chest thingamabobs. But yeah, I don't have a problem with that stuff. I also really love the paradox between having something so soft and fluffy mixed with something very edgy. I mean, you know, it's bubble goth. I think it's really neat. But me as a person, I like to be very fluffy. I don't like mixing anything edgy with my stuff. I want to stay all puff, just all puff. Again, it's like a personal preference thing. I know that some people really can't stand it, and I also do get that as well. Because of Tumblr and Instagram and stuff, there's kind of like this interesting merge of like fashions and lifestyle. Because I think it was probably right after 50 Shades of Grey came out, a lot of more bondage and kink-like things became a lot more popular. And of course, they played a part into just normal everyday fashion. But I know for some it could be hard to distinguish, you know, what is just fashion and what is also lifestyle. But this also happened within the more softer, sweet Lolita trends for a little bit as well. I remember when collars, like the little collars, became really, really in for a while. Like, you know, the little pink chokers with like the hoop and stuff. And again, as someone who is very familiar with the scene, it was very interesting to see this being worn as like a fashion statement and not, you know, as its actual original intended meaning. So, but yeah, at this point, anytime I see anything that's like bondage gear, or basically any accessory that could be seen as like maybe potentially a little bit kinky, for me it is just fashion, and that's it. There's like nothing behind it unless the person says so. But now that I think about it, maybe it's more than just me wanting to stay fluff only. Maybe because for so long I've connected like these kinds of accessories with BDSM related things. Maybe that's also why I wouldn't feel comfortable wearing it myself, because these are two things that ideally, for me at least, I would like to keep entirely separate. But yeah. Okay, so finally on to the 12th and final thing that I will likely never wear. Now, I say likely because at some point in my life I may want to try it out again, and that would be Gothic Lolita. And I've said this many a time, I absolutely love looking at Gothic Lolita. I think it is gorgeous and so beautiful and just so elegant and sometimes so creepy. I love it so much. That being said, I can't wear it myself, which is so funny, because when I first got into Lolita, I assumed that I would have like maybe 50% sweet, 30% classic, and then like 20% Gothic. Did I get my numbers right? Something like that. But I can't wear goth. I can't. You'd think that for someone who loves looking at it, they'd be, you know, comfortable wearing it, but that's not how it is. I have worn it before, and every single time I feel so out of my comfort zone. I feel like I am wearing a costume. It doesn't feel right. I feel like I'm trying to be something that I'm not. So I totally understand, you know, the other side as well. Like, I can get why Gothics would probably never ever turn to sweet, because it's like clown costume to them. And the funniest thing about it is that Gothic is like, I mean, it's pretty toned down. Like, it is nowhere near as costumey as, you know, OTT Sweet. Moreover, you know, if you dress in Gothic Lolita, chances are if you're walking down the street, people are looking at you, they're just gonna assume that you're a goth. Like, that's already a thing that's already existed for like a really long time. I think among the general public, it's more likely to be accepted. But for some reason I feel more comfortable wearing duckies and ponies and bears on my dresses and putting candies on my fingers and stuff. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know why it is the way that it is, but it is. So yeah, that is my list. I hope no one was offended. Again, I hope I didn't come off as hating on any of these things, because again, none of these things I actually dislike. They're all just things that happen to not work out for me. So, and with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and go. Thanks for watching if you watched, and I will see you next time. Bye.